Whatever he brings, we got an answer for. You know, if he comes aggressive, if he tries the box, I've got an answer for everything he's got.
Hey, what's up? This is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to talk about Jai Opetaia. He continually is on a rampage. And the performance that he just put on was nothing short of spectacular. Really quick, if you like the videos, please take the time right now. Subscribe to the channel. It literally just takes one click. And if you could, tell a friend. And also hit that thumbs up button. It does help. It shows love and it supports this channel. So, Jai Opetaia. I think he's consistently getting better. And that's great news for us as fans. And it's bad news for his potential opponents. The destruction of Jack Massey. I mean, that man was like a dead man walking. Like, he couldn't do anything. Like, it's funny because Jai Opetaia said in the final press conference, I have an answer for everything that he tries. I have too much ammunition. That's a quote. He was absolutely right. He was absolutely right. I don't even think he had the opportunity to show everything in his arsenal. He did have too much ammunition for Jack Massey. Jack Massey was too slow, too predictable. You know, he had a lot of heart. I knew he was going to have a lot of heart. Not to mention he's a big guy. You know, he did fight at heavyweight. So, you know, I knew he had the heart. But heart's not always going to carry you through. You know, heart's not always going to carry you through. Heart is, I don't think heart's something you start off with. I think it's something you end off with. You know, heart's what you activate in round 8. I don't think you start off round 1 talking about, I got heart. That's an indicator that you're probably going to lose if you have to start off round 1 talking about you got heart or showing your heart and your determination in round 1. Because in rounds 1 through 5, that should simply be the stuff that you worked on and you know, in camp. 6, 7, 8, you know, those are your reserves, but nonetheless, you're sticking to the game plan, things that you worked on in camp. 9, 10, 11, well, 10, 11, 12 should be heart, determination, and that's when you should be like, I got a little girl at home, and I want to have more kids. That's when you should be kicking, those thoughts should be kicking in. But you shouldn't start off like that. And it's just clear that one guy was clearly outclassed. One guy was clearly outmatched. One guy was clearly outgunned. And it's as simple as that. It was a clear destruction. And honestly, I don't know why the fight wasn't stopped earlier, to be honest with you. I mean, Jai Opetaia looks just as sharp as he ever has. I mean, he looked good. He looked sharp. He looked strong. He was alert. He was aware. Like, he was on his point. Like, you know, he was on it. He was on it. And he's just getting better. I mean, like, he's just getting better. Every performance is a lot more solid. You're going to say, well, you didn't knock the guy out. And he was eventually going to knock him out. I mean, keep in mind, Jack Massey is not a big guy. Jai Opetaia is actually small for the division. And Jack Massey did fight at heavyweight. So you got to keep that in mind. But Jack Massey was not going to survive to round 12, period. It just wasn't going to happen. He wasn't going to survive to round 12. I mean, what's next for Jai Opetaia? You know, there was a question of, you know, would he fight the winner, or, you know, him fighting the winner of Bivol versus Arthur Beterbiev. And I got to tell you, there was a point in time when I thought there's no way Jai Opetaia could beat Bivol. That has changed dramatically. After watching Dimitri Bivol and Arthur Beterbiev fight, I am 100% convinced that Jai Opetaia would beat both of them. I think he stops Arthur Beterbiev like well before the 12th round, honestly. Beterbiev's been down several times in his career, so it's nothing new. And on top of that, he's 39 years old. And on top of that, his body is always breaking in some place. So you get a young, strong Jai Opetaia who's just bouncing around the place. I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Jai Opetaia is a more aggressive, harder-hitting version of Dimitri Bivol. They got the same movements almost. And there is no way that the Arthur Beterbiev who fought Dimitri Bivol is going to beat Jai Opetaia. That Arthur Beterbiev was very timid. I don't know why he was so timid, but he was very timid. He took a sweet time easing into the fight. Actually made my recap video for Arthur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol should be up here, but take a look at it. But he was very timid. He didn't rush into anything, and I thought he would. I thought he would apply pressure early. I do think that would have been a better outcome for him had he had done that, but he didn't do it. Well, he gave too much space. He gave to Dmitry Bivol, and the pace was very, not slow, but it was easy going. Now, you take Jai Opetaia and you put him in that same setting, we already know he's faster than Arthur Beterbiev. I think he might hit just as hard or harder than Arthur Beterbiev. Probably just as hard, though, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, I don't think that the punching power is going to be like, oh, I better stay away from that guy. I think Jai Opetaia could definitely stand in front of Arthur Beterbiev. I was surprised that Dmitry Bivol went flat-footed for Arthur Beterbiev. So I'm assuming Jai Opetaia would definitely stand toe-to-toe with Arthur Beterbiev. Now, let's take that same scenario. Dmitry Bivol. I don't know where his legs went, but he needs to get them back, especially if they're going to have a rematch. He needs to get them back. What do I think? I think Jai Opetaia beats Dmitry Bivol. I do. I think you have somebody who has just as much cardio as you do, and that's going to be a problem. I think you have a guy who hits very hard, and a guy who's very aggressive, a guy who's definitely going to invade your space, a guy who's going to throw, he's not going to throw a ton of punches, but just his overall movements are enough pressure because you don't know when he's going to attack. And that in itself is terrifying, where somebody's just, and you don't know when he's going to just lunge with something. You don't know when. As opposed to Arthur Beterbiev, he's just easing forward, and kind of just pawing and swiping at you. You know something is coming. You just don't know when, that punch is coming. But it's a different cadence, it's a different timing, and it's a different spacing. And Jai Opetaia can cover a ton of space with one leap. Now, I think he can finish both guys. So where this leaves Jai Opetaia, honestly, he is the uncrowned king in my eyes. Until I see somebody better, until I see somebody stronger, until I see somebody more precise with their punches. His punches are so crisp and precise. He doesn't waste anything. He doesn't waste anything. For a guy his size, to punch the way he punches, to be as elusive as he is, to be as light-footed as he is, and to strike with that much force as he does, very impressive. There hasn't been a time that I've seen Jai that I wasn't impressed. I'm very impressed with Jai Opetaia, and honestly, I think he smokes both of those guys. I think he definitely smokes both of those guys, Beterbiev and Bivol. Now, I do know they're going to have a rematch. So where does this put Jai? I guess he can chill out under the sun for a while. I mean, he caught no damage, so he could easily have another fight. It wasn't like he was hurt in the fight, because he wasn't hurt. It wasn't like he got busted up. It wasn't like he had the fight of the year, where he was fighting for his life. None of that. It wasn't like he was fighting under his reserves. None of that. So he could either take another fight, or he could sit back and wait for the winner of, Bivol and Arthur Beterbiev. But either way, Jai Opetaia is quickly becoming my favorite fighter right now. He's just the guy. And he's the unspoken guy. And I don't know why he's not getting more buzz. I don't understand why he's not getting more coverage. I don't understand why I don't see more videos about Jai Opetaia. I don't understand why. Granted, he doesn't talk. So that could be it, But you know what? That's on your promoter. Let him do your talking. But he is the guy. There's nothing remotely negative I can say about his fight, his fighting style, and how he represented himself. Ozzy. Drop your thoughts down below.